want to run through the costing area for IGEMS. So I've got this nest here, and I've got this set up with some different qualities. So I've got the outside cut as a Q2 or rough, and then inside cuts as a Q5 or fine. So I've got those color codings up here. So then if we want to get an idea time and cost for this part, you can go into the process area, and if you click on the cost estimate button here, it'll pop up this window here. So working down the left here, you've got your machine cost per hour. So this is supposed to cover things like paying for your machine, operator, overhead, profit, things like that. And then next field down here, this is supposed to cover consumable items other than abrasive. So if this is a part we're going to be cutting with a 1440 nozzle combination, or essentially a 50 horsepower pump, we usually estimate about $35 an hour in consumables to run a 1440 nozzle combination, and about $23 of that is going to be abrasive, which means about $12 of that should be other consumable items like your high pressure lines, job shop grates, things like that that are outside of abrasive. Of course, nozzles, orifices, high pressure seals, those sorts of things fall into that number there. And then you've got your cost, what you're paying for abrasive. You should also factor in some disposal cost into there. So if you're paying 25 cents per pound for new abrasive, you might be paying another maybe 5 cents per pound or whatever to dispose of it. So you should factor that in there. And then down here you've got the time, so length of cutting, and then rapid time, piercing time, etc., actual cutting time. So you've got the estimate, and that's based on the current qualities that are set on the part. And then this is the decimal equivalent of that time there. So be aware that these times can be off from reality. For example, water-only applications, you might find that these times are off substantially. So these are just supposed to be a guideline as you work with the machine and cut different materials and thicknesses. You'll get an idea as far as how close or far off these are from what you'll actually get on the machine. And then over here we've got information about materials. So this is cost for the material that you're cutting. So steel, stainless, aluminum, whatever that is, you can plug in what you're paying per pound, or if you pay per square foot, you can hit this button here to toggle between that. And then this area here, you can determine or specify how you want the material to be allocated to the job. So on a nest like we have in the background here, you can tell it to allocate the entire sheet to the job, and you'll see down here that this is currently what it's looking at. And as you change this, you'll see that this cost down here will change. So if I change this to bounding box, it'll just allocate the basically draw a rectangle around the nest and allocate that material to the job. Or you can do outer, where it'll just look at the outer diameter or perimeter of the parts. And then, of course, as you change these, you see that these numbers, down here for the material change as you change these. So you've got those different ways that you can allocate your material to the job. Bounding box border, so if there's some additional area around here that you know that you're going to lose because of clamps, you can specify that, and then that in turn will change those numbers down here. And then down here in the handling area, you've got fields where you can plug in what you want to charge per hour for getting material on and off the table. You can also allow in there for programming. So and then you've got a field in here for time. So if you're going to be doing that at $80 an hour, and it's going to take you 15 minutes to program the job and 15 minutes to get material on and off the table, then you can plug that in there, and that will put that in there. So all tallies it up down here in the corner, and then you can also click on this report button, and it'll give you a nice report to break that down. And then the other interesting thing that you can do in here is that you can get an idea of how your costs are going to change if you cut it this part at different qualities. So right now we've got this part again defined where the inside cuts are set to fine and the outside cut is set to rough. If you want to get an idea what it would cost to cut the entire part as a different quality, you can check this box up here. So this will apply this quality to the entire part. It's not going to portion it out like we've got it set right now. So if I click on the quality box and click on OK, right now this is telling me that if I cut this entire part as medium, we'll see that these times change, and then of course the total changes based on that time. And then, so right now we're at $97 as a mid-range or medium cut. If I go down to the Q5 or extra fine, then our time goes up to 32 minutes 24 seconds and our cost to 126.06. And if we go to cutting it as all extra rough, then time goes down to about 11 minutes and about $78. So what you have to be careful about here is if you leave this box checked and then you hit on close, it's going to use whatever quality is currently selected and apply that to the entire part. So if I, for example, leave it as extra rough and click on close, and we go back and look at quality, now the entire part is set to that. So if that's not actually what you want, you have to be careful and not check that box when you hit close. And right now, if I want to change something, if I want to change this back, I actually can't. If I try to use any of these commands, it's not going to change anything. So let's see if I try paint again. So it is something you have to be careful about. So if we did want to then go back to what we had before, we'd actually have to erase our cuts and reapply those. Let me try that again, replace. I just delete all those and then re-add my toolpath. And then if we look at the quality, it'll revert back to what we had before. So that's just something to be careful about if you are in that costing area. So let's go back in there again. So if you do check this quality box to change those, and you don't want to actually use that quality on the part, just make sure that you uncheck that box before you hit the close button, and then that will keep whatever qualities that you had set up before. So any questions on that, let us know. Thanks.